Hey guys, it's Matt Hanham here and welcome to the Amplify Your Business podcast. Okay, Matt Hanham here and welcome to another episode of the Amplify Your Business podcast. I'm joined today by a special guest. They're all special guests, but this one in particular, Mr. Julian Van Der Waal. Julian, welcome to the show.
How are you?
I'm really good, mate. Really good now you're here.
Oh, stop it. Thanks for having me. What an honour.
Yeah, no problem. So, listen, let me try and just sum this up. I mean, you're the fearless leader of Spartan Alliance. Your business is involved in sales, performance coaching, financial planning, recruitment, education, partnerships. I mean, have I missed anything out there?
There's a webinar coming. There's a few things actually. Recruitment. We forgot recruitment.
No, I said recruitment.
Oh, you did? Okay, there you go.
I just said it really fast.
Yeah, exactly. I missed that one. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
That's it. I think.
Yeah. So let me scroll back. So sales.
Yep.
Performance coaching.
Yep.
Financial planning.
Yep.
And I think just general business consulting and advice falls under that. Recruitment, education. I mean, there's a lot of things you do there, but I think you mainly it's all focused back to small business, right?
Yeah, and tech. We can do apps and websites as well.
Okay, fantastic. So I want to start with a couple of quotes. And the first one is, our life is the condition of our mind.
Yep.
The second one is, what we are today comes from our thoughts yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow.
Yep.
Now, they're written on your body, right?
Yeah, that's tattooed on my ribs, yep. No, it was 2.5 hours of absolute agony, but...
I know, it looks like it, because the photo I've got in front of me is still very red.
It's pretty fresh art. That photo is pretty fresh, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So, I mean, maybe let's go to the second piece. I mean, what we are today comes from our thoughts yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow. Now, great quote. Why? How did it end up on your ribcage?
Good story behind that one. A friend of mine literally said it one day, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's literally exactly how I think, and I've thought like that for as long as I can remember." So. That was sort of, long story short, that's where it came from. And then I thought, well, if there's principles that you live by, tattooed around my wrist is "wherever you are, be there" for my grandfather. And I just feel like that indemnifies everything that I am and that I want to be in. And from experiences and businesses and I guess a life journey of life, if you want to say that, I know that our thoughts play a massive part in our successes. So, the way we think yesterday, that's the reason why we are where we are today. Whether we like it or not, we're there for a reason. And then moving forward, if we don't change the way we think, or we don't grow, or we don't develop ourselves, then we will be in the same position. Or if we are lifting ourselves up and driving ourselves forward and pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone, then the future is probably closer to us than if we don't.
And I mean, I don't have any tattoos. I guess you got a couple by the sounds of things. But the question I have with that is, how do you look at that every morning, and does it stand out to you, and does it pop to you, and does it really serve as that reminder, or is it something that just every now and then you realize, hang on, you look in the mirror and you go, oh, that particular day, you're like, look, that's written there. I need to remember that quote. Like, how do you, in reality, in practice, how much of a reminder is it, or does it just sort of become part of the furniture?
I think at the start, it definitely is a reminder. I normally sit on tattoos for about 12 months before I actually get them. So, although I did see this comedian, which I kind of was a bit embarrassed almost to say now, but he's like, if you've got this iconic message that you want to tell the world, and you have all these sort of thought processes and inspirational quotes, and if you need that tattooed on your body, maybe it's not that ingrained in your head. I was like, oh, damn it. I was like, that's pretty funny, but damn, I got a couple. So, the one around my wrist, "wherever you are, be there," my grandfather used to say, and I really understand. You know, the biggest thing with these probably two quotes is I really understand them, but just because you understand them, it doesn't mean it's a principle just yet. Wherever I be there, probably took me around about 10 years to create an actual principle of that message. You know, whereas our thoughts are, you know, our life as a creation of the mind is really an overarching, keep your thoughts in check type of thing.
I mean, because you're right, because the intellectual understanding of a quote is one thing, but in terms of actual action and practice, very different, especially when you're talking about these types of quotes. I mean, like, wherever you are, be there. Like, amazing quote, and I can see why you'd have that somewhere, and even better that it's come from your grandfather, did you say? But you're right, like, that's that's not something that you can just tick a box and go, yeah, I've done that. That's just a constant practice and a constant reminder to put yourself in that present state. So, yeah, cool. I always wondered about that because I wondered whether I should do something like that, and I thought, look, is it just going to become part of the furniture, or will it really like jog my memory on a regular basis and sort of remind me of a key quote?
Yeah, well, every time I say the one around my wrist,
sort of principle I want to live by.
Every time I say the one around my wrist, it's kind of an ode to my grandfather. So, he meant a lot to me. So whenever I say that, it's kind of like his memory coming through. And then every time I say that to someone, they're like, oh, that's really good. So it's kind of a bit of, honor for him. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, because I think meaning something else like that to you as well is really cool. So really important to you, remembering and wanting to sort of build that into being a principle. So
I don't have barbed wire.
Yeah, I thought it'd start on the no barbed wire.
Southern Cross.
No tribal tattoos that you're when you're
From
not
my heritage
when you're not in a
Holland,
tribe. Yeah. That's right. Or the Southern Cross, you're right. I actually really like the idea of the Southern Cross tattoo, with the exception that like almost 80% of Australians have it.
And who has it is just not one, anyway. So.
Well, I was going to say 80% of Australian bogans, but it's probably about 120% of those.
Sorry to any listeners that have it. That kind of
yeah, I'm so sorry. I promise I will not cut that out. But like certainly a good message, I think. But as I said, things get overdone too, right? And I don't know. I tend to try and stay away from what everyone's doing where possible.
Yeah,
I think it's a good method.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, with those quotes, how many Instagram pages are just full of quotes? How many Facebook things are all full of quotes, and everything is surrounded by, the Gary V's, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy's, Bob Proctor's. There's so much stuff out there, and yet people are still living an underrated life. So, we're probably in an environment where there's so many resources and so much information out there, and yet no one's implementing anything. So,
Yeah, but I think one thing that we get probably distracted by at times is we see it everywhere, like these quotes, like you're talking about, even all these key figures and people. We're used to seeing them everywhere because we've created that existence.
Yeah.
But even 30, 40 years ago, there wasn't the same digital access, but there was still a pile of these books or, Napoleon Hills and other books that were all around there. I think we lose sight of the fact that a lot of good information has always been there. It's just that we see it so much. We just expect that everyone is seeing it too, and they're just not. We think they're seeing it, not taking action, but they've not even taken the action to even start seeing it.
Yeah, I guess on that, I said to my wife the other day, I said, I just no disrespect, but I don't understand how people are poor. She goes, what do you mean? I said, there's so much like opportunity out there. There's so many, if you want to go down the path, network marketing companies and multi-level marketing, and there's business opportunities, and there's, the cryptocurrency thing. There's so much stuff out there. Now, obviously, if you don't have education for those things, don't move forward into that space. But I was like, how are people poor? There must be 4 or 5 great business opportunities that land on my desk a week. She goes, but the position you've, I guess, put yourself into allows you to be exposed to these things. I'm like, okay, fair call.
Yeah, and that's so true. And because they're not aware of them, and even if they were aware of them, they don't know how to action them because they haven't had the muscle memory, like I guess in a way that you've had of many years of looking at opportunities, trying some working, some not working, moving forward. The experience isn't there. So I completely agree with you. It's like it's crazy that we still have we don't need to be poor, but like you, especially for example, if you look at people that are say homeless in Australia, I mean, a lot of them are still able to, they have some form of income coming in. It's just that there's other issues within their life and their structures and what they do that are preventing them from living the life that we believe that perhaps they should be
kind
living.
of almost separate.
It's a lot about mindset,
that's
right?
That's almost separate to my conversations. But the thought process of just living or existing or surviving is quite foreign to me. I just don't understand that. I just don't understand. So.
Yeah, survive versus thrive.
Yeah, that's right. And then what's more? What's next? What's exciting? What's where are you going to grow? And where are you going to move to? What's your business going to pivot to? But I guess that's probably why. Yeah, it's just different. So
it's probably why you do what you do.
Potentially, yeah, that could have a large factor in it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So how did you start? I mean, how did Spartan Alliance start?
Basically, I was in Jack Delosa, the Entourage, and we were kind of going through. We've been in sales for the last decade now, but this was started 2016, March 2016, and actually pre that we actually sold our retail shop, and the lawyer that we were recommended kind of was a palm off, or something went wrong, and it ended up costing us. We got quoted $2,500. It cost us $5,000, and then the lawyer did such a bad job in regards to the settlement contract that we actually had to get the purchaser's conveyancer to sell our own business from us to him. And I was like, wow. For someone that's had a restaurant previously, already had my own sales company for the last few years. I think at that stage we were setting up another company in Tasmania in sales. I was like, wow, that was pretty embarrassing to get the purchaser's legal team to sell my own shop to them. I was like, I reckon there's more businesses that go through this much pain, this much embarrassment, and just do not have the resources to move their business forward, or to sell, to exit, or to market, or recruit great people, or sales, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. I need to kind of create a network of businesses, whether I own them all myself. And honestly, when I was 14, 15 or 13, probably, I actually wanted to own businesses in every industry that I used. So I felt it really strange that if I was going to buy a coffee, why would I buy $3.50, $4 coffee if I could own the coffee shop? If I was going to go to a hairdressing salon, why am I paying $60 for a haircut when I could own the salon and make profit from it? So I was kind of playing with that idea at 13 or 14. So that's honestly where it came from. And then selling the shop, having that sort of failed legal experience kind of kicked it in, and then going through the Entourage and working through a vision, mission, values process. I was like, yeah, I got to really support Australian businesses the best way I know how, and that's to set up business. So ethical businesses that deliver great services, good products, good services, good prices, that actually do what they say they're going to do. How many online marketers are out there that are actually delivering absolute zero? How many business coaches that have taken?
Don't ask me the question, mate. We'll stop. We'll be talking for 15 minutes.
Don't even get me started. Do not even get me started.
You've seen it. I've seen it. It's why I'm one of the reasons why I'm trying to be more of a voice, because exactly the same reason. There's so many professional services businesses, right through the spectrum, that and a lot of them aren't ill-meaning, but they're just not delivering, and they're not cheap. No. And the small business army, which is Australia, just can't afford to be paying too much for the wrong advice that's just going to set them back. And that, look, let's face it, the chances of survival were small enough anyway, and we knew that for every business on average, let alone having a situation like you've just said, where you get caught spending too much on a lawyer and it hasn't even achieved what's been needed to be done, and you're lucky that you, I guess, had the purchasing side, had a legal team that was able to pull a transaction together and actually look after your side of the equation as well, by the sounds of things.
Because what if they didn't? Or what?
They could have screwed you. Conflict. But they could have screwed you, but they just got it done. So, but that I see it in marketing all the time, and I certainly see it in the when I've been in the finance realm as well.
I literally spoke to not a client, but just a business yesterday. And he goes, I said, talking about business coaching. He goes, we've got a business coach. We don't need your your course. Oh, okay, cool. He goes, I said, what's he done in the last 4 years? Oh, we're growing steadily at 15% proudly, he says. I said, mate, a business without a business coach can grow at 15%. That's not really that good. No disrespect. Like, if you're only growing by 15, 20% a year on year out, like, it's okay, but anyway. So.
Yeah, well, it just comes down to, like, I think what's so difficult in that zone and that space is that, you can walk out like you can with a PT course in 6 weeks. You can walk out with a certificate in a month, or a weekend or whatever that looks like, and you can call yourself a coach. And then it's up to you as that coach. There. And I think, shit, how did that happen? That wasn't the plan. But like, fuck, the onus is up to, in my view, right? My view of this, and I feel pretty strongly, and I think you do as well. But the onus is up to that coach to make sure that they're coaching on shit they understand. And to the people at the level, like, everyone can be a start-out coach. I completely think, coaching is a big space in the coming decades. But don't go and stand in front of a manufacturing business that you've got no business taking a couple of grand a month off them if you can't add value to them because you've got skills in, I don't care what it is. You might have amazing HR skills and they need a lot of HR improvement over the next 12 months. Great. You get in, do that and get out and learn a little bit on the way, learn some other disciplines, but don't go in and feel like a lot of small businesses at this point, like, they hand their business responsibility over to their coach, but their coach isn't actually catching it.
That's right. Yeah.
So, and they don't have the skill set or the deep understanding or time, because I think the problem is on both sides of the equation. But
they might have time because they've got 4 clients.
They might have that too, but they don't.
How many hours?
They don't have the time to really get in
how
there.
many hours does it take to become a master? 10,000.
So
how can you become a master coach
10,000
in 4
hours
days?
approach? Yeah.
And
exactly.
we're here.
Yeah. But I think people are desperate to, like, ironic, because I see entrepreneurs, people starting businesses, they already know they're in they're stepping out into the unknown. But so then why hand over that responsibility? Yeah. And, how many times do you see a business paying $1,500 to a business coach and they're in the red?
Yeah. Right. Or they never got, even if they're in the red right now, they never got out of that red. Things happen in business, but, if you're going to take your business from, under 6 figures to over 6 figures, and the person's got 4 clients, how are you going to do that? Do you know what I mean? If you never scaled a business over $1 million, how are you going to help this one do that? So I kind of see it like that, but I just don't agree with it's all about positioning. I don't mind people starting out. Hey, I started out too, but I definitely didn't position myself on week 1 as the master sales coach.
No, that's right. And like I say, it's up to, you got the responsibility to stand in front of the right people, I think, when you're that coach, not just take money from whoever's going to give you money. You need to make sure that you're coaching someone that you do know more than, because look, teaching someone, all you need to do is know a little bit more than the student, right? And that's fine. I have no issue with that. And people starting out are in that space, but just be careful what you're getting into. Yeah. That's my advice for would-be coaches.
You have a moral and ethical responsibility to make sure you can deliver what you can. I got offered a course not long ago, $1,600, someone that's a master coach, and you let me get rid of your sales blockages and all NLP stuff. Yep. Fantastic. 6-week course. Why are you offering it to someone that's built a couple of $1 million companies, spoken to 100,000 people face to face, coached 4,000 people across the country? Like, what are you pitching me for? I'm the one that should be taking the course.
Just not paying attention, man. That's the thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they. Yeah.
Anyway, we ended up there. I don't know how we ended up here.
We ended up there, but. Yeah, look, it probably was, but look, I just feel passionately about like small business as you do as well, and I think that's the key. And the biggest impact, or the biggest thing I think, biggest problem I have with that is people handing over the responsibility and not like going to a coach, giving them some money, using them for what they need and want out of that coach, understanding what it is they need and want from that coach, and then moving on, because they're like everyone else. They're not going to be your parent. They're not going to hold your hand. They're not going to figure everything out for you. And quite frankly, their contract won't say that either. So it's up to you to dig in. But like, let's come back to this. So what is, you know, you're very passionate about small business. You went through this situation, but where does the inner drive come from for you, Julian? Like what, like right back to starting, like where is it? Is it family related? Like what is it? Is it event related? What gives you the, I guess, the strength to get up every day and keep doing this? Because it's a crazy life, right?
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes wish I didn't think like this, because it'd be much easier on myself, my health, my stress, my family, if I just had, you know, just a job and I made $80,000 a year and I clock in. I actually thought about that the other day. I was talking to someone just this morning in an interview, and I said, you know, I wish maybe when I retire, I'll just go back to 50 hours a week, work for someone, clock in, clock out, you know, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, and take my weekends off and come back in at 9 o'clock in the morning and not have to think maybe I'll retire like that. And I don't know, I really have a couple of problems, and I really didn't want the podcast to be, you know, a rant or a bitch session, but
it seems to be going that way.
We've got a lot to we're very passionate about it, you know, but I just, you know, these titles and stuff like that, I just really have a visceral reaction to everyone's an entrepreneur. Just Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, entrepreneurs. If you're close to that stage, fantastic. If you're a startup company, please, you have an idea. I'm not trying to kill your ideas or your dreams, but you're a business owner, just like everyone else, sole trader. And actually, no ABN says entrepreneur, it says sole trader. So let's just...
We don't all go writing professional athlete on our on our Instagram,
exactly.
We're quite happy to write.
I go to you know, CrossFit 3 times a week. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So anyway, everyone wants to be something, and I get that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to kill dreams. Where it comes from is probably, you know, it's always been family since I've been 18 and working really hard in the restaurant game. It's always been for...
So that's your family history?
No.
Is restaurant business?
No, it's my dad was always sort of senior management. My mum was a piano teacher, or still is a piano teacher. Dad subsequently retired, then he's come out of retirement now. I think he's so bored, or probably started drinking too much, I'm not sure. So probably both. But so I've always seen Dad in a very sort of senior role, always in a suit and tie, and I kind of really liked the way people viewed him. You know, the kind of rules didn't... I didn't really grow up with rules. At home, I had a lot, you know, coming from a very European background. It was kind of like, you know, Aussies are kind of like no, smack. Europeans are like smack no. Sometimes you just get a smack for no reason, just in case something went wrong in the future. So it was a very, very strict household, I felt. It's kind of, nothing was ever good enough type of thing. That's kind of, you know, but my mum always said that you can do anything you want. And it's been ingrained in my head that I can literally do anything. That's probably it's a good thing, but it's a very bad thing, because now I say yes to everything and then realize, shit, it's just me doing this stuff. So, you know, I need a team of about 50.
You got to pull it all together.
Yeah, it's like, I'm still a sole trader doing 4 businesses. So, so I've always been very much a competitive person, sporting, played a lot of music when I was going to school, and one of probably the biggest lessons from my childhood was, you know, I wanted to play saxophone, but my mum said, you know, clarinet's a harder instrument. Learn the clarinet, not the sexiest instruments, by the way. Learn the clarinet, get to 7th grade, and then we'll buy you a saxophone. So that is still vivid in my mind, that was probably one of the biggest lessons that my parents taught me, is that, you know, nothing comes easy. You have to work for everything. But when you do work for it, you get rewarded with exactly what you want. So that is still as vivid as, you know, as anything, as my daughter's birth, as anything. So I think, you know, as parents, now that I've got a family of 2 and 1 on the way, we are responsible.
Oh, congratulations! I didn't know about the one on the way.
Yeah, we're so responsible for our kids' future. So, and that's never been more present than and obvious than it is right now with the two girls and one on the way. So it's always been for family. Family's, crazy important. And it's not so much the family up, even though they're important, but it's my family down. So it's who I am as a leader of the family and as a father and as a husband and as a a role model. That to me is probably the most driving force on about anything. Although I do like nice things and nice cars and a good lifestyle. But the biggest thing is that intrinsic drive to provide for my family. What would kill me is if I can't provide for my family. That would be not a good day.
Isn't it crazy what becoming a parent does?
Yeah.
For business, because I feel like it just throws a whole nother view on discipline, particularly around time, and you're no longer just happy to waste those few extra hours in the office and maybe pretend you're doing an 80 or 90 hour week when the truth is you actually just weren't that efficient.
Yeah.
Like you really do. I feel like you really double down on time, and it just makes you a better business person for it.
I think I said this the other day. I think you become a true business owner when you have kids.
Yeah,
that's when it's because when it's by yourself and you're single, it's different. There's no pressure.
It's just different, isn't it? You can't. Yeah, there's not the same pressure. You can't quite sort of. It's really hard to explain, but it does really amplify you as a business owner once you sort of go through it.
But this 2018 is a completely different Julian in business, and kind of the people in my team are kind of really noticing that, for literally 17, 18 years since I've been 17 years old, working 70, 80, 90 hours a week, 100 hours a week sometimes, 7 days a week. I think the longest period of working was 13 weeks straight, had one day off, and then I worked 16 weeks straight, 7 days a week. So there's a crazy work ethic in there, which I don't. No one can beat me in that. Maybe Elon Musk, but I don't want to compete against him. He's had a couple of mental breakdowns.
He's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he's had a couple of
from what I
and a couple of failed marriages. So I don't really want to go down that path. Success leaves clues. So, but.
So what is it different in 2018? What's the change in Julian?
It's purely been focused on money, like I said, for 18 years. But these days, I really want to surround myself with good people. Not that I didn't have good people before, but I was purely focused on profit. Now, I'd rather make a little bit less profit, but have amazing people that I just love working with, hanging out, and especially for the sales company, if we're hitting targets by Thursday night, let's take Friday off, let's go to the beach, let's go go-karting, let's go paintballing, let's go to the movies, let's have some fun. Take that day off, spend some time with your family, whereas before, if we hit targets, let's go for more, let's make an extra, $5,000, $10,000. But, it's not that I don't want more money, I just want to have a bit, I want to buy my life back a little bit more,
Yeah, okay.
There's been a lot of investment in, birthdays and missing out on friends' weddings, and, I've been on a few holidays at Christmas time, but I haven't traveled around the world. I haven't been to 25 countries. I haven't done these things. So now it's kind of, now with family, it's, let's hang out with the kids, or let's watch a movie, or let's just do something. Let's live life. So whereas before it's, let's make more money.
Yeah, cool.
So.
It's easy to focus on, right? And I think a lot of people do, but I think what you sort of do realise is it doesn't have to be 100% on.
No.
You can find a bit more time, and you can still meet your outcomes.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's about just that perspective. Or I guess for a long time you had made a decision that you couldn't turn off.
Yeah.
You wouldn't allow yourself to turn that off. So
yeah, but I think the energy you get out is you give out is what you get back. The company now, we've basically rebuilding the company from pretty much one other person, and we've had some great successes literally in the last month. But we were working really hard in the sales company for the last all year, and we've kind of just seen the result now. So, but the people in the company, as a group of people, are probably the best group of people that I've ever worked with as a group. But the last group was the best group that I ever worked with, and the one before that was the best group. So
that's right. It gets better, right?
Of course, every group,
becomes.
That's the way it should be. That's every new business should be better, because it's not that you make less mistakes, but you can see into the future more. You can see pitfalls and mitigating risks, and you just see that because you've done it 4 or 5 times before, or 25 times before. So.
Yeah. So look, you touched on sales before.
Yep.
What is it that what is the one thing that you see businesses doing wrong, I guess, consistently right now in respect to sales?
Not selling, not learning how to sell.
Not learning.
99% of businesses that I've ever spoken to hate selling their own product.
Yeah.
They just, I don't like selling. I don't want to be that guy. Well, you will be broke. You'll be out of business. Sales is the cornerstone of your business's growth. Recruitment is the expansion. But if you can't sell your own product, I'm glad from a sales point of view that people can't sell their own product, or else I wouldn't have a sales company. But in your own business, you need to learn how to, and sales is a skill. Like building businesses is a skill. Recruiting great people is a skill. HR is a skill. Doing great podcasts and interviewing people is a skill.
Yeah.
Everyone can learn it.
That's it. And you need your hours, right? Like, shit, I've done probably 100 hours of podcasting.
Yeah.
Have I ever interviewed people before that? No.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm in my early days of cutting my teeth on this stuff,
exactly.
like other people are as well. And it's like, do I expect to be amazing? Fucking, I better not, because I'd be mad, and I'm going to stop if that's the case.
You'll be very disappointed very quickly, won't you?
So why do you, sales is a really funny space to me in that, especially around the personal development sort of realm, because there's so much in marketing, there's so much in so many other areas, but I find that even in that zone, there's really just not a lot of sales coaches. No. There's really just not a lot of sales businesses like yourself. And you're right, like I think most people are genuinely somewhat fearful of selling their own product, or at least coming across pushy with their product. Why do you think our psychology runs from this?
Our experiences that we've had previously, our grandparents say, "Oh, those bloody salespeople," the used car salespeople. I would say, it's not actually a fact that used car salespeople will rip you off. It's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know some amazing, nicest, most ethical business owners that run used car sales lots.
Yeah.
But they're one of the most under-respected people. I think
they just get branded straight away.
I think
don't
politicians are more trusted than, I don't know how that's possible, but so. But I just don't understand. People aren't thinking that. People are just listening to other people, and they must be right because they're older. I've always challenged things. Going back to not having rules. I remember when my dad was working at the Marriott, and I was, we're just setting up the Marriott in the Gold Coast. He was just setting up the Marriott in the Gold Coast. Went in there one Saturday because, as a 9 or 10-year-old, that's what you do with your dad on Saturday. It's pretty cool. And literally everything that I wanted to do was open. Everywhere was open to me.
Yeah.
And I just kind of really, the rules didn't really count. So I think always being a non-conformist or just challenging things, and I love challenging things because I think people are just sort of naive or not thinking, or I'm not going to say stupid, that's a little bit rude, but, have a think. What you've been taught is not necessarily true. If you love what you do, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Bullshit. I love what I do, but fucking some days are hard.
Yeah, I think I actually put an Insta post up about a week ago on
did
exactly that line, and and I just said if you love it, it's absolute bullshit. You're going to eat shit anyway for a lot of days, but you're just going to keep doing that because you love it. And eventually, you just last. You just get on with it, and you just enjoy doing it. But and even when you are eating shit, you just enjoy doing it. But I think that produces such an opportunity, right?
Well, you know what the outcome's going to be, so you know that these times don't last, or you just. I think I'm naively optimistic. I just hope that tomorrow, I think that tomorrow's going to be better. And if tomorrow's not better, then, tomorrow must be better. And, that can go on for, I've been in business for a few years now, but my first sales company, or the sales company that I started up first, 2.5 years was, I hope tomorrow's going to be better. 2.5 years, it was pretty shit. So, glimmers of hope and just there it is. And then the next week it'd be rubbish. You're like, come on.
Yeah.
So,
and you need a few of those ups and downs to realise they're ups and downs, and you just don't understand it until you've had some of that opportunity to experience both, and then you can start to identify, okay, this is tough, but tomorrow may be better, or maybe it'll be a week or a month.
Yeah,
but,
but
it does move in different ways.
If you want X, then you got to go through this. If you can't get through this, you're not worth X. A lot of people say that, I want to make, $250,000. Cool. But they can't last 2 days in the sales floor. Like, they just lose their attitude and call 3 people. And mate, you're not going to make $250,000 in sales if you're only calling 4 people a day.
Yeah.
Unless you're signing up multi-million-dollar deals, and that's not going to do in one day, are you? So,
well, it's just and I assume it's a numbers game as much as there's a lot of other skills to it. If you're not on the phone or not communicating with enough people, the sheer like standard math is going to tell you that not everyone's going to buy from you, even if they want to. So you have to put in the work.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're not going to get it.
Sales is easy. There's 3 components to sales. There's the metrics, the numbers, and knowing your numbers is really important. There's the mentality. That will take the rest of your career to get to a level that you think is going to be good, because even now I think I can get better at sales mentality. And the mechanics. So the mechanics of basic sales, business to business, or, face to face or over the phone, probably takes about 2 weeks to get. It doesn't take that long, But some people never get it because they don't want to, but everyone can sell.
So if I'm a small business and I'm listening to this right now, what do I do first? Like what do I do to sort of open my thinking up to improving my sales?
And stop selling. Oh my God! Stop telling. We'll cut this bit out, right? Pause. Stop telling everyone. Stop telling yourself that you can't sell. Stop saying that.
Stop telling yourself you can't sell.
Stop saying that. You're already going. Do you think a boxer goes into a fight thinking, bloody hell, that guy's pretty good? Do you think Conor McGregor went into the fight with Mayfair thinking, well, he's pretty good, 49-0, I don't reckon I'm going to win this? Not a chance.
No, it's just not possible.
Different story.
It's a good point, right?
An epic fail, but...
Yes. we won't go into that. Yeah. But I'm just on the mindset thing.
First time I
it's
bet,
true.
I lost, but that's why I don't gamble. But
the first time you bet?
Oh yeah, we put $1,000 on it. But anyway, I got caught up in the hype, Matt. I never bet before. Put $1,000 on Connor. I was like, third round, I think third or fourth round, he's puffing through his mouth. I'm like, shit.
and there is your life lesson.
Yeah, that's right. Stick to what you know.
Stay away. It's so true, but right, those the exact things that get thrown at us. Oh, I don't bet. Let me just throw some money on. Oh, $1,000. He's going to win. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll take that $1,000, thanks. Yeah. And try and remember next time that's not what you do.
Thanks, Crown Casino.
So, where's the business going? I mean, what are you looking to do in the next? Let's call it a half decade, 5 years. What's the vision for you?
The aim for us, obviously, is really to get the support of small businesses out there as hard as possible. The biggest thing for us the next really 6 months is, there's a lot of hard work. We're setting up another sales company here in Adelaide and sort of stabilising my own one. That'll only take another 3 or 4 months to do. That's pretty much done. The next thing is really moving into the business consultancy side of things and just really giving them good, solid value rather than pipe dreams on, I've got a business coaching course and they've never actually had a business before. So, the thing for us, we really want to make sure that I'm ready to shake up the market. I'm ready to shake up the recruitment industry. I'm ready to shake up the sales industry. I'm ready to shake up the business coaching or business consultancy. I'm ready just to tear it all apart and get into it. So the next 5 years, for us, we want to be Australia's leading business resource. And if not 5, then definitely 10. But really, not necessarily. I don't really care if it's a household name, but just the plan is to help 100,000 businesses over the next 10 years. And for me, it's all about the ripple effect. So I've never seen myself as the person that can speak on stage in front of I'm literally looking at. What have I got in front of me? Unleash the Power Within booklet from the Sydney trip. It's literally underneath my desk. I'm not the sort of person. I don't feel like I'm a Tony Robbins, but at all. Obviously speaking on stages, I kind of find it quite fun, really, to be perfectly honest. Although I used to be absolute rubbish at it. Same thing, with podcasts. I'm pretty sure the podcast first one you did, we'll just delete that one. Let's just pretend that never existed, you know.
Oh yeah.
Keep it for the funny files. So, but it was always been something that I really wanted to get good at. Public speaking at school was absolutely horrendous. You know, I could never speak, I couldn't remember my lines. I was shaking so much I couldn't even read my palm cards. Just not the sort of person. You know, my schooling was not really good at all. You know, so coming out of that, I really want to be at what I call the ripple effect. So businesses have their own families, their own mortgages, their own, you know, future plans that they want to have. And if you sell a business for nothing after the next 10 years and all you've bought yourself is a bloody big headache and probably some grey hairs and a very expensive job. So that's not why you should be in business, you know. Yeah. But I think too many people are they're not dreaming big enough, you know, in their own business. So.
No, I mean, it's so easy to target 10% and end up with 7, whereas if you had, at least, you know, let's not get crazy and go 10x, but, you know, if you targeted 100% growth, you might end up with 17. You know,
that's right.
You know, that would be a big difference in thinking and mindset, and it is amazing once you sort of start to dig into, like, you realize we all sort of gravitate towards little smaller risks, and you stop, think for a minute and go, hang on, no, if we just try a little bit bigger, we're probably going to end up much closer or above where we wanted to be.
Yeah, that's right. And for a business not to grow is just, I don't personally understand it, although, you know, so I think, be honest with yourself. You know, the amount of people that I speak to, like, oh, you know, this is the key factor of your business is going to do shit in the next 10 years. How are you going? Oh, you know, business is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, be prepared to be out of business in 10 years' time, because someone else will, you know, make your business redundant.
But there's just so much opportunity right now, right? There's still so many.
Crazy.
Like I couldn't, if I had to try and guess what percentage of the market is still basically running an old school business in an adjusted world, and I'm talking everything digital, from digital marketing to digital accounting. Yeah, look, I sat down with a client, I won't name names, but a client recently, and they've got one staff member who spends a week a month invoicing all their clients, and they have their recurring monthly billing. And she manually does it and spends a whole week a month. And they know that there's problems there, but they're big enough. They haven't had to worry about it. But that's only a small example. There's so many businesses that are just living the old game.
Yeah, that's dumb business. That is dumb business. You know, like, and then what's good enough? Because you and I can probably walk into the business and go, yeah, cool. Well, I can cut out her wage. So that's $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Yep.
I can get it all automated, or I can move her into some other space, because I'm really pretty sure that monthly she doesn't want to spend a week on the same bloody bills that she's done last month. That's not very inspiring. So, you know, how long is Betty going to last in that job for? You know.
Exactly. And because how is she feeling valued? Pumping out the same invoices over and over again, for a week, a month, and then having to chase them all, and it's all automatic, or should all be automatic billing. That's just one example, but how many businesses are still in printing?
Lots.
And people are still buying these businesses the whole industries are literally almost gone. Like, all the professional services are about to get shaken up. I mean, there's just massive opportunity out there.
Accounting, financial planning, you know, even law. There's a robot over in America or something that can work out your law case better than, you know, a bigger percentage than a lawyer. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to say we're going to be taken over by robots, but, you know, for all the business owners out there, just stop for a second. Stop doing the micro, macro, whatever. Just stop and breathe. Sit in a room. Turn the lights down, put some nice music on, and just stop and breathe just for 10, 15 minutes, and ask yourself this question: what do I not see yet?
Yeah.
Second question.
Well, what am I choosing not to see?
Exactly. And where else can I get support for? And you'll find, honestly, it'll actually be way cheaper than what you think. Oh, we don't have any money to spend. So the people that are so reliant on their business, or the business is so reliant on them, they don't have any structures. You know, I was talking to someone last night that got a decent sized business. You know, we're talking well over multiple seven figures, and the onboarding process, there's no systems, there's no structures. The onboarding process is kind of, and they're recruiting for the same job. Literally, I've been here for 6 months. They've probably put on about 3 or 4 people for the same job. So the longest person that's sitting there is 18 months into the business. And look, they're really good people. They're great business owners. But I'm like, there's got to be something that's not happening in that business. It's either cultural, there's an onboarding process, there's not enough incentives. The days are gone where you pay someone a wage and they should be motivated because they're getting paid.
Yeah. It's a long way down the list now. I mean, what is it? I think money's number 7, if you're talking about millennials, etc. So you need to be providing that vision, that leadership, all sorts of other things. Yeah, sure, they need to get paid, but that's only one piece of it.
Exactly. So there needs to be future. We deal with a lot of millennials, and we're doing our office. I got a graffiti artist in here to do up a big piece. I don't know if you saw that on Instagram. Big piece in a reception behind our values, and we just put in what I call the Edison room. So we painted the walls. I don't know, I'm not the painter, so obviously, but it's going into the Master Painters competition because it's so good, which is pretty awesome. On the back wall, it's kind of like plasters with gold and polished on the top. I'll put some photos up if you want to. And then we got 10 Edison bulbs, all different sort of shapes and sizes, and it looks a really cool space. So people want to come into a space, and it didn't cost that much money, but people want to come into a space that's nice and creative, and the judge from the Master Painters Association literally came in today and he goes, oh, thanks so much for doing it. I said, yes, it's for the team, but it's also for me too.
Yeah.
So as leaders in our business, what are we aspiring to be, and who are we aspiring to be, and are we actually inspiring anyone?
You have to, don't? Like, I really I've found that, like you mentioned before, you feel like you've got your best team that you've ever had now, and I can really understand that because I'm in the same space. I feel like I've got the best team I've ever had, but 18 months ago, I've got the best team I'd ever had then and before. And a lot of that, it is you. It is your leadership, your growth, you're doing these types of things. And it's often the individuality that you bring into the business and show them that this is okay. I'm sitting in my podcast booth now, which was my office with a big executive desk and probably the desk I'd always dreamed of sitting behind. And I pulled it out, threw it on the Verge collection, and turned it into a fun little room where we can record things and do things differently. And showed my staff that we don't have to play the traditional game. We can do things how we want to do them, and that it changes things when you can show and bring more of your authentic self into the equation and show them that they're allowed to as well. That it's that kind of intangible that they're actually looking for and seeking and wanting to be part of something that's just not the status quo.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of businesses that are really struggling. Like, I get that, so to spend, money on microphone, things actually aren't that expensive, but sometimes they have no money. Like, there's businesses that I've worked with that literally have $0 in the bank, that cannot spend any money on anything, that their owners aren't paying themselves, their mortgages are behind, but they're the ones that they need a bit more support, but also from the leadership group. I don't know if you watched The Mentor.
I haven't actually seen any of it yet, but I will catch it.
Yeah, I love that program. There's also a guy called, I should have told you this before, The Prophet. It's over in America. Marcus Lemonis. He did a very, very similar type of project as The Mentor over here, but in America. Those sort of programs are really, really good, but I'm not saying that you need to come have an investor come in. Venture capital is probably the next hottest topic on the planet these days, and outside of cryptocurrency and all those things.
We've done well to avoid those two, to be honest.
But as a business owner, you really need to just stop for a second, breathe, and really have a good hard think about where your business is going, what you actually want out of the business, because otherwise you're a mouse on a wheelhouse treadmill and you're not going anywhere. So reach out to us. I'm sure we can support in some way, but you gotta kind of just stop and think for a second, and I know exactly what it's like because I've been there before in different businesses. Having 2 kids and those sorts of things can make things difficult. I haven't been to the gym for a little while. I kind of miss that, but I've got to be kind to myself. And if we kind of finalise on that, you've got to be kind to yourself because there's some days that you can't do certain things, or you have to eat the takeaway, whatever, or you grab your souvlaki with the chips and but
we're still human, right?
Sometimes
we're not going to be perfect.
Yeah, you can't be. Yeah, you got to be. At moments when you're not doing so well, you've got to be really not. I'm not going to say soft. That is not even in my vocabulary. But you got to be kind to yourself. I'm not saying you need to. Everyone's like, oh, go to the day spa, mate. If you can't put food on the table, the day spa is not even in your horizon. Like, no chance. But go for a walk on the beach. Take your shoes off. Lay on the grass. Nice sunny day. Coming into winter's sometimes hard to find around the country. But run yourself a bath. Baths don't cost anything. Put some nice Epsom salts in there, some whatever. Put some. I don't know what. I don't have baths. What do you put in baths? Nice stuff.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure there's some oils out there.
Yeah, nice stuff. I think salt would be good.
Petals,
oils. I'm sure there's something. But you make a fair point, right? Like, sorry to cut you off, but your point, often when we're looking for a lease or something, is I certainly, look, I'm a former insolvency accountant. I don't know if you knew that about my background. So I started life in that space. And one of the first things that people do for relief is they often go and spend money they don't have, whether that be for an experience, like you say, buy a new jacket or something, like to make them feel like they've got it, but all they're doing is perpetuating the problem. And that's exactly what you're talking about there. Like, if you're not putting food on the table, you've got to resist that urge and just find a way to make yourself $100 in a better place than $100 in a worse place.
And self-love is that when we get into that survival mentality, like we can't see wood from the trees or trees from the wood, whatever it is, we can't see the light. We can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're just in that tunnel. So you got to just start to be kind to yourself. If you miss the gym, don't beat yourself up. It's okay. You'll get that back. If you start missing the gym every single day for a week, maybe that's, maybe, like I said, I haven't gone to the gym for a couple of weeks now because my Saturday morning I'm sleeping in, but I'm really enjoying my sleep in with the kids.
No,
and stuff.
I know.
You
gotta do it, man.
So whatever you do counter to what you quote unquote should be doing. If you really enjoy cake, don't eat it every day. But when you do get that cake and you're going to be a little bit naughty, fucking enjoy that cake. Don't be thinking of the extra 25 kilojoules it's going to put on your bum. Don't worry about that. Just enjoy the cake and don't feel guilty. Don't become a habit. That's not what I'm saying. But, run the bath, enjoy the bath. I used to, obviously being in the cooking industry, I used to get home and I really enjoy good food. I really, really love it. But when I got home, I couldn't be bothered. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm cheating myself out of something that I really like. And that's probably where that self-love started to come from. Working really hard, I'd get home and I'd make a really nice meal and I'd sit down and be like, yes, this is amazing. Like, it doesn't have to be flash, just a nice pasta, but I cook it with so much love and some garlic and some chili and some Parmesan cheese and, all that sort of good stuff that goes in it. And then all of a sudden I've got this beautiful meal in front of me that I'm really enjoying, eating this massive bowl of pasta with some, not shit San Remo pasta, but a nice egg pasta, and all of a sudden I start to feel good.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
Magic. All right, look, let's load into load up the rapid questions. I've got a few quick things I want to run through you. So, what if you could take one book into solitary confinement for a year? What would it be?
One book. Can I just take Blinkist?
Yeah, you want to take Blinkist? No. It's got to be a book. It's got to be a physical book. You're locked away for a year. You don't get to talk to anyone. What book are you going to use to pull you through?
I'm kind of like I'm not the best business owner to read. I don't read books.
No.
I'm the black sheep of the education. I educate myself, but I find maybe it's just the time. Maybe Yeah, I don't really read that many books. I haven't read that many books. I'm like, you know what? Oh, actually, Get Smart by Brian Tracy.
Get Smart by Brian Tracy. There you go. Everyone's got one, mate.
Yeah, I had to think hard for that one.
Awesome. I haven't actually read that book, so I might check that out.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic.
And really in the way that my brain thinks, bang on. I was like, yeah, you know.
Okay.
But, you know, I think everyone's like, oh, you got to read. Find the format that you find enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in Inc.com or reading the articles, you know, podcasts, find one that you like. You know, Art of Charm was a great podcast. I probably shouldn't plug someone else's podcast.
No, I'm happy to plug podcasts.
What's that?
I'm happy to plug podcasts. Yeah, no stress here.
Yeah. You just got to find ones that work for you, you know. Not everything, I'm not a massive book reader, but I really enjoy the Blinkist, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Give me the crux of it. And yeah, the Get Smart by Brian Tracy is a great one.
What's your favourite Disney or cartoon character? Aladdin.
Aladdin.
I've had that one a couple of times recently. So why Aladdin? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He's kind of cheeky.
Yeah.
He's a bit naughty. He's pretty adventurous.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think it'd be cool to fly on a carpet. I think they'd feel. I think that would feel cool. I love my dreams of flying.
Okay.
That's
Hence
probably my
Aladdin.
favourite dreams.
Nice. What's one weird app or your favourite app that you've got on your home screen that people should know about?
Weird app. Uber Eats.
No, yeah,
Not
you
weird,
love it.
I just use it a lot.
Oh, Uber Eats is great to get a good meal or a cheap meal or whatever you want. Like, at least you can get some like good food in there now, right? Especially when you're busy, you're at work late at night, whatever's going on. I love it too.
There's a souvlaki. Yeah, there's a souvlaki place that's just opened up on Uber Eats near the office. Brutally bad, but really bloody good. Lumosity. I love Lumosity. That's pretty cool. Playing those games just to get my headspace, fun. Trivia. I love trivia.
Cool. And so you just use them
really
as just brain games, just things to distract and just do something different. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm driving, road trip with the boys, they do trivia. I come up with some answers. They're like, "How the fuck do you know that?" I don't know.
Oh, you're one of those guys at the quiz nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. All right, and the question that I finish off with everyone is, what is the one thing that you would advise people to do today to amplify their business?
Get help. Get help of someone that has done it before, that doesn't want to take your money, that doesn't just want to take your money, that actually has an invested interest wholly and solely in your business. They have to have done it before. Yeah.
Fantastic. And that's any discipline, right? You just mean just whatever it is that you need, just go and find someone that's walked the walk before and help you?
Yeah, I mean, there's enough business resources out there. But, probably one of the biggest things that I see, and it's actually quite annoying, is that people will post on a business platform, I need recruitment for this, this, and this. And you reach out and go, hey, what do you need? And they don't get back to you. So why would you waste people's time? Don't waste people's time. If you're serious about business, then get serious about business. Don't fuck around. Don't. I don't fucking.
No, you can swear. It's probably like fuck it.
Yeah, don't play. This is your future, man. Like don't play around with it. Like this is the future of your kids. You want to have a good exit strategy. Otherwise, get out of business. Don't be there. There's no. Don't. And it's not trying to be rude and, like I said, killing dreams, but, if you're going to make it work and get into it. If you're going to get into the water and you want to learn how to swim, jump in. If it's a little bit cold when you first start, whether you jump in with your toes first or you go up to your knees or whatever, you're going to have to get in the water. So just get in there.
That's it. Fantastic, mate. It's been really great. Look, where can people find out a bit more about yourself and Spartan?
Obviously on the website, spartanalliance.com.au, or shoot me through an email, julian@spartanalliance.com.au.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love to be in chat and love to see if we can support you guys and and I'd love to be part of the growth of your business. So
Too easy. Look, we'll link all that stuff up in the blog and notes and every place that we'll put this. So, if anyone wants to get in touch with Julian, look, great guy.
Yeah.
I've known him for a couple of years now, and don't hesitate to reach out. So, listen, mate, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man, and I look forward to chatting with you and catching up with you in person next time. But thanks so much for sharing, and your story's amazing, and I hope people got some great value out of it.
mate, sounds good.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, Matt Hanham here, and I really hope you enjoyed that episode of the Amplify Your Business podcast. I hope you got some awesome value out of the experience, and I'd love to hear comments below, or if you want to share it with your friends, that'd be great too.